Next, I want to introduce you to a rich kind of harmony that you can add into your playing in any number of places to just introduce a rich and beautiful sound to your playing. If you remember, we talked about the fact that in any key, let's just take the key of C, but that the 1, 2, 5, and 7 scale degrees almost always fit. You could put them in almost anywhere. So if you were in the key of E, the 1, 2, 5, and 7. If you were in the key of B flat, the 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 5, and 7 would fit almost anywhere. If you were in the key of E flat, the 1, 2, 5, 7 would fit almost anywhere. Well, there's a reason for this, of course, based on the overtone series, but I just want to introduce you to a chord that I call the Copland chord. I name it that for Aaron Copland, American composer. He lived through most of the 20th century. Copland chord sounds kind of like this. Etc. See, it's a beautiful chord. It's saturated, but it's not muddy. It's really clear. And the Copland chord is based off of sort of a two-handed chord. You feel this. It's kind of like a chord in second inversion, and then you build below it a chord in first inversion. So you see, there's really no consecutive thirds built on one another, and that is the reason why this chord does not sound muddy. Now let me show you how to build this. You primarily use the Copland chord, as I call it, on the 1 chord and the 4 chord. It sometimes works with the 6 chord and the 2 chord, but not as often, and it doesn't work for the 5 or for the 3. So we'll just stay on the key of C for now. So let's say if you're in the key of C and you're given a C chord, what you would do is you take your left hand, you play a C chord in first inversion, and then you'd stack that right up next to it. So if I were given a C chord, I could play it like that. Now same thing with the 4 chord, same kind of idea. If you're given a 4 chord, an F in the key of C, so your left hand is going to play an F chord in first inversion, and your right hand is going to start with a kind of a second inversion chord right above it. Now it does work. It's a particular kind of sweetness, and it sort of works for the 6 chord. So if you're in the key of C, you can do it for the key of C as well. I mean, for an A minor chord. It's kind of a nice, sort of an alternative sort of harmony, and it always works with an A minor chord. It doesn't have the same sweetness, of course, because it's not the same combination of half steps and whole steps, but you can do it. And then also, if you're in the key of C and you're given a 2 chord, you could do a 2 chord. Again, it's a little crunchier, but it is a really nice, sort of interesting, full harmony, but it doesn't go outside the key, and it's not so dissonant to the ear as to be distracting. But however, the most common ones are going to be the 1 chord and the 4 chord, like that. Now, I'm going to demonstrate this in the key of C by playing the following chord progression. I'm going to play a C, then a C with a Copland chord, then an F with a Copland chord, and then a G sus. Now, I just made up a little notation for it, a small C to indicate Copland chord. You're not really going to find that anywhere else, and it's not even something you'd really ever see written into the music, but I'm just putting it here so you know to play it. So I'm going to play this chord progression in the key of C. So compare that to this. This was a C, and then same chord progression, really. I just spiced it up with these Copland chords. Let me play it again. Okay, it's your turn. Play that same chord progression, the 1 with the Copland chord, the 4 with the Copland chord, and the 5 sus, and play it in the keys of G, F, E flat, and B. And I'll go ahead and demonstrate. Here's the key of G. Now here's the key of F. It's a little low. Let's play it up here. Key of E flat. And finally, let's play it in the key of B, B major. So that's the Copland chord. It doesn't work all the time. Sometimes you don't want that much richness, but it is a really nice way to really spice up the 1 chord and the 4 chord. And you can also use it, as a reminder, you can also use it with the 6 and with the 2 on occasion.